Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. We're in Canada. My name is Ellen, and by the way, it's my first video in English on my channel, so I hope you will like it. And before I start, I want to share with you some information about myself and my family. So we immigrated in Canada from Ukraine in 2021. We got nominated by province Alberta, and we were in the express entry pool. And finally, we landed in 2021 in Calgary. So we have been here for 1 year and 3 months already, and we're really in love with Canada. And I hope that this video will be beneficial for you. And the purpose of it, it's not demotivate you in any chance, but just show you why people can leave Canada. And for those of you who are right now considering moving here, and especially for my loved Ukrainians who are forced right now to find safe place because of war in our country. And I want you just show what difficulties you can face here. And if you're aware of them in advance, I hope it will be easier for you to know what to expect, because I think that's the main point. When you're ready, when you're well prepared, when you know what difficulties you can face, it would be easier for you to overcome them and just to keep up moving and don't give up, because that's my main point. Don't give up. That's okay. That can be hard. You know, a lot of immigrants, they know that first 3 years they're the most difficult one, because you miss your country, everything's new, you don't know anything about this new country because you haven't been here yet, and you need to start from scratch, organize your life, the life for your family, for your kids, and find a job that you like, likely, and that can cover all your expenses. And there are a lot of expenses, especially in the first month. So I want to emphasize one more time the reasons that I will be talking about. Yeah, people leave, that's true, but when you're prepared and when you're aware of everything that can come your way, it's easier for you to be ready to face the challenges and just to tackle them. So I hope it will be beneficial, and let's talk about the first reason. So the first and the main reason, as for me, is high cost of living, and it includes everything from renting or buying a house, or cost of daycare for kids, or education. So even food. We've noticed recently with my husband that every time we go shopping, we see that the prices are rising constantly, and our wages, unfortunately, are not. So altogether, all these factors, they're causing that people start thinking of returning back home, because they get used to that level of comfort, and they can't, or maybe they do not want to get used to the new life. And even when they think that, oh, I will get used to it, when they start doing it, they understand that they're not comfortable here, and they can't cope with this. And especially when you're not 20 or 25, and when you're 30, 40, you understand that you just don't have enough time to build your career here. And then, yeah, this decision is made and people just leave Canada. And the second part I just want to mention, it's prices for renting and for housing. Maybe you're already aware that the mortgage rates here right now in Canada also have been raised drastically. And before, the rates were like 2%. Right now it's 5 and even 6, and can be higher. So the average price, for example, for a house in Calgary, it's 500,000, and it's just average house. It's not the perfect one. It's not big enough. And a lot of people understand that probably We can afford it even with the mortgage, and especially even rent. I'll just give you an example. When we moved in 2021 here, let's say the average price for one bedroom apartment was 1,000. Right now, if you go on RentFaster website, you can see that the average one bedroom condo or apartment is almost 1,500. And if we talk about 2 bedroom or more, it's almost 2,000. It's almost like a house. And you need to also add utilities. And utilities in winter can be like $400 or even $500. So it's quite pricey. And as I said, when you come here unprepared, these simple financial issues can also impact negatively, and people just don't cope. If they can afford it, they can try for 1 month, 2, 3, 5, and they find their survival job, but it's still not enough, and they decide to leave. But as I said, that mostly impacts Ukrainians who are coming right now, because as I said, not all of them can bring in like sufficient amount of money, because they don't prepare it, and they didn't know that this like terrible situation happens and they would be forced to move here. But as I said, if you have enough money, you just need to try to continue and move forward and try to look for a job that can give you more stability and more money, because of course without this basic needs you can continue looking for a job or stay in Canada, because it's really quite expensive, unfortunately. And then we're slowly moving to the third part. It's third reason, it's fear to start from the beginning. So starting from the beginning, it's really a pleasant experience, and a lot of people just opt to leave. And no matter who you are and where you're coming from, you just need to start from the very beginning. And your prior experience doesn't matter a lot. And this is unlike what you may expect. So, for example, if in your previous country you were a director or a manager or some VIP corporate, here it's really unlikely that you start from the same position. And there's some profession that require licensing or certification, and if you want to continue pursue your career in the same profession, you'll need to go to school again and obtain that certification or get that licensing and pass some exams. So when you're immigrating, you're ready for this. When you're moving right now, and a lot of people are not prepared, they're facing these issues and they're just getting a lot of disappointment and discontent. But as I say, if you have enough money to, for example, go to school and start maybe a new career and just change totally your profession, then probably it's up to you and there is no issue here. But as I said, people think that they're ready, but they're not in real life. And as I said, I was a bookkeeper, for example, in Ukraine, and I moved here. I worked as a bookkeeper. Then I changed my, not profession, but changed my job. And in the last 6 months, I had been working as a product specialist in a software company. So I tried, but I understood that it's not mine. And right now, I'm open to any opportunities. I understand that maybe I need to start looking for some study course, and maybe I'm ready to go to school again and find another totally different profession for myself. So if you're open to this, if you're open-minded, if you're keen on learning or keen on meeting new people, then totally Canada is your country. But if you're not very interested in changing and you don't want to go to school and you're 100% sure that this profession or this job position, it's only that you want to obtain, that probably it can be hard for you in Canada, because sometimes people are looking for a job for a couple of months, even for survival. So you need to know how to look for a job, how to create your resume, because here in Canada, the resume is created in totally different ways. You need to look also a lot of learning videos on YouTube about this, because people, HR manager, they have their own way of looking for people, and your resumes should match the vacancies. So there are a lot of tons of information about this. I don't want to dig deeper into this, so you'll know. So you need to be open to everything, even to changes. Maybe you need to go from the very beginning, you need to go on survival job and earn the minimal wage. But you need to understand, so that's just the beginning. And then if you show that you're a hardworking person, you're persistent, goal-oriented, so then there can be promotion, and there can be good salary, pay raise, and then you just can have a Canadian experience. It's much easier to change the job after that. So keep that in mind, that it's okay to start from the beginning. But as I said, not all of people want and can cope with this, like being a director back home and start as a sales associate. Sorry. Start as a sales associate or like a laborer somewhere on construction site. So not all of people are ready for this. Then let's finish with this step and continue to the next one. It's health challenges. So that's the end of the day. It's hard for me to to pronounce correctly some words, so I apologize for this. So health challenges and issues. So yeah, basically and overall in Canada you can find basic free healthcare, and that's cool. Yeah, so doesn't matter, you can come to any clinic, any walk-in clinic or a family doctor, and if you have a health card, here in Alberta, for example, the doctor can treat you and prescribe you some medicines, some drugs. But these drugs are also can be covered fully or partially, so you don't need to pay for them, only in case if you have benefits from your employer. In other cases, you should pay for it. So it's like free consultation, but all drugs should pay for them ourselves. And the main drawbacks here, as for me, there are three main drawbacks. The first one is long waiting time for some specialists. So we have been waiting for dermatologist couple of months. We also heard that some people are waiting for another specialist like for a year. So it's totally ridiculous for me. For example, back home in Ukraine, you can go and book an appointment without any referral with any specialist and just book it like for tomorrow. Of course, you should pay for it, but there are also like clinic where you can go without any payment. So it's up to you. You have a like alternative. Yeah, you have a choice where to go. Do you want to pay, or you can wait for another specialist that don't require payment. Here in Canada, unfortunately, you don't have such options, and I have a really sad situation. It was like a friend of my friend, so he injured his kneecap, and the doctor told him that he should wait at least a couple of months for a surgery, but it was like very important and for the person, and he didn't want to wait for so long, so he just bought a ticket on a flight, and in 2 days he was in Ukraine, and in a couple of days they planned surgery, and then everything was fine. The surgery went well, and then he returned back here in Canada. So sometimes, yeah, when you need something to do, a lot of people, I know they fly to United States or to Mexico to do something faster rather than stay here in Canada and wait for their treatment, unfortunately. Then the lack of doctors. Yeah, a lot of clinics are fully booked and people are again, they're just not very happy with the waiting time and everything. And of course, prescriptions, well, Obviously, maybe it's in a lot of countries the same situation. So you basically need prescription from doctor to buy some drugs in pharmacy. And yeah, for example, I'm comparing with my home country, with Ukraine. So in Ukraine, there is much easier to go to pharmacy and buy, not of course everything, but the most important drugs you can buy are like yourself without any prescription. Here, yeah, you need to make an appointment, go to doctor. They took some tests, and sometimes also it can take a lot of time. I don't want like right now to share some experiences with doctors here, but probably in the next video I'll tell you that sometimes it can take weeks, for medicine to be prescribed. But yeah, you need it right away, but they need to do tests. And yeah, the waiting time is terrible. And the last one, the fifth reason, I think that's not the crucial one as for me, for example, but maybe like altogether, as I said, all these reasons can influence on people's decision and they move in. So the fifth one is really harsh weather conditions. Of course, Canada is a huge country and there's a lot of different weather climates. But mostly, yeah, for example, in Alberta here, you can experience like winter during 6 weeks. Yeah, I wish it was fixed. It's 6 months, so it can start in October and finish in April. And last year we had a snow in May. So obviously, yeah, there's not so many warm days in winter. Usually the temperatures are -5, -15. But can be -20, -30, 35. I know that in Manitoba and Saskatchewan it can be harsh even, much more. And yeah, altogether, all these reasons can have a great impact on people's decision, and they just decide to move, and that's all because they're, everything is new here, and a lot of people, they just can't find their place here. But altogether, as I said, I can say that I don't like Canada. I really like Canada, and just if I make a quick summary, I want to share that Canada is as for me, it's a great country and it has a lot of opportunities. And altogether, yeah, it's a difficult place to adjust to for somebody. But sometimes, yeah, for somebody it's climate too cold, and winter's too long and too harsh. And maybe for youth, they will admit that the pace of life is a bit slow. But it doesn't matter what the reason is. Some people, they're not happy living here, so they decide to move. But yeah, I would say that Canada is one of the best places to live for me. And there's just kindest people around us here, and I think it's a fantastic place to raise your children and find your environment, find your profession, and succeed here and achieve really a lot of enhancements. So I really wish you that you find the place that you're happy in. And yeah, I hope my video was helpful for you. If yes, please subscribe to my channel and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.